You are walking east with the largest army Europe has ever seen. The road is dust. Your boots are already splitting. And the enemy you came to destroy keeps disappearing. At first, this does not feel like defeat. It feels like a parade that forgot where it was going. Your army is the Grande Armée of Napoleon Bonaparte, and in June 1812, it crosses the Neman River into Russia with hundreds of thousands of soldiers, horses, wagons, guns, and flags. You have heard the stories. Austerlitz, Jena, Wagram. Napoleon wins by moving fast, striking hard and forcing enemies into one decisive battle. So why does the road feel so empty? The first problem is not courage. It is distance. Logistics means the food, roads, animals, ammunition, wagons, and timing that keep an army alive. It sounds boring until your stomach is empty. David Chandler, one of the major historians of Napoleon's campaigns, stressed that Napoleon's genius depended on movement, but movement only worked when the army could still eat, march, and stay together. In Russia, the map itself begins to fight you. Your commander expects a familiar pattern. March quickly. Find the enemy army. Beat it. Force the ruler to negotiate. But Russia refuses the pattern. Generals like Barclay de Tolly and later Mikhail Kutuzov keep pulling back instead of giving Napoleon the clean battle he wants. This is not cowardice. It is a brutal strategic choice. Strategy means the larger plan that connects battles to the political goal. The Russian plan is to trade space for time, which means giving up land in order to stretch the invader until the invader becomes weak. You march into that trade without seeing the price. Every day, the supply wagons fall farther behind. Horses collapse from exhaustion. Grain is missing. Forage means food for animals, and without forage, cavalry and wagons become useless. Villages are empty or burned. Roads turn from routes into bottlenecks. A bottleneck is a narrow point where too many people and carts try to pass at once, slowing everything behind them. Now imagine your column. Not one neat army. A moving city. French soldiers, Polish soldiers, Germans, Italians, Dutchmen, Swiss, Croats, and many others, all trying to move through dust, heat, hunger, and bad information. Orders take time. Rumors move faster. A soldier at the rear may have no idea what Napoleon at the front believes is happening. Karl von Clausewitz, who served against Napoleon and later wrote on war, called war a world of friction. Friction means all the small things that make a simple plan hard. Mud, fear, fatigue, late messages, broken wheels, sick horses, confused officers. On a clean map, the army is an arrow. On the road to Moscow, the army is a tired animal dragging its own shadow behind it. Then comes Smolensk. You hear guns. At last, the enemy is near. The city burns and the Russians pull away again. Napoleon wins ground, but he does not win the decision he needs. A tactical victory means winning the immediate fight. A strategic victory means winning the larger purpose of the campaign. In Russia, Napoleon can win places and still lose the campaign, because every step forward makes his army harder to feed and harder to control. Then comes Borodino. The air is smoke. The ground shakes. Your officers say this is the battle that will end it. On September 7, 1812, near the road to Moscow, Napoleon and Kutuzov finally collide. Historians still debate the choices made there, but the result is clear enough for the soldier in the mud. The French hold the field. The Russian army is damaged. But it is not destroyed. John Keegan, in the face of battle, pushed readers to look past clean arrows on maps and imagine what battle felt like to ordinary men. Borodino is exactly that kind of nightmare. Noise, smoke, confusion, and no simple ending. You expected victory to feel final. It does not. The Russian army retreats again. Napoleon reaches Moscow. The great city should be the prize. Instead, it is a trap made of silence. There is no surrender delegation waiting to solve the war. Tsar Alexander I does not negotiate just because Napoleon sits in Moscow. Fires break out across the city. Food is scarce. Shelter is uncertain. Your army has captured a symbol, but a symbol cannot feed a horse. This is the counterintuitive twist. Napoleon's army does not fall apart because it was weak. It falls apart because it was too powerful for the world it entered. It is too large to live off the land, too dependent on speed to survive delay, too confident in the old pattern to notice that Russia has changed the game. The army was built to smash an enemy army, not to chase an enemy government across endless distance while its own supply system cracked behind it. So the retreat begins. The road west is not the same road anymore. It is colder, emptier, more dangerous. Your coat is thin. Your boots are worse. The horses that should pull guns and wagons are gone or dying. Without horses, cannons are abandoned. Without wagons, supplies disappear. Without food, discipline breaks. Discipline means soldiers still obeying orders when fear and hunger tell them to think only of themselves. Now the enemy does not need one perfect battle. The enemy needs pressure. Cossack cavalry harass the edges of the column. Harass means attacking small groups, stragglers, and weak points instead of fighting the whole army head-on. Russian troops block routes, destroy supplies, and force exhausted men to keep moving. The cold becomes famous, but the cold is not alone. Hunger, disease, poor roads, fatigue, and the collapse of transport all work together. You begin to understand something terrible. An army can survive losing a battle. It may not survive losing its system. The system is everything invisible. Bread ovens, horse fodder, spare shoes, clear orders, working bridges, reliable maps, officers who know where their units are, soldiers who still believe tomorrow will be better. When that system breaks, bravery becomes smaller. Genius becomes slower. Numbers become mouths. At the Berezina River, the disaster becomes visible. Engineers build bridges under pressure. Soldiers crowd the crossings. Napoleon escapes with part of his army, but the image is no longer conquest. It is survival. The army that marched east like an empire is now a line of exhausted people trying to get out alive. Later, historians argue over numbers, blame whether Russian strategy, Napoleon's decisions, and the limits of command. Leo Tolstoy, in War and Peace, would turn the campaign into a meditation on history itself, questioning how much any one great man truly controls. Clausewitz would teach that war is shaped by uncertainty and friction. Chandler would show how operational brilliance could still be defeated by logistics, distance, and political reality. For you, the lesson is simpler. A plan can be brilliant and still be wrong for the conditions. A leader can win arguments, win battles, win cities, and still lose the thing that matters. In modern life, this is not only about armies. A company can grow faster than its supply chain. A team can chase a goal without asking whether the system can support it. A person can mistake motion for progress, confidence for preparation, and a dramatic win for actual success. The Russian campaign warns you about scale. The bigger your plan becomes, the more it depends on boring things working quietly in the background. Food, time, roads, information, trust, rest, maintenance. The things nobody cheers for are often the things keeping the whole mission alive. So now you are walking east with the largest army Europe has ever seen. But you understand the road differently. The dust is not empty. The distance is not passive. And the enemy you came to destroy is not disappearing because he is beaten. He is letting your army fall apart.